Well, you know, the fascinating thing is his breakout year was his third year, and so was Jeff Tedford's, because that was the year that they basically got hosed out of the BCS game because of a coach's vote. So in that way, it's taken them both the same amount of time to get their programs exactly where they wanted them and really at their peak. And I'm not sure what that says, except that if you can turn around a moribund program in 3 years and make it among the top 15 in the country, then you've got to be something special.
Well, year 3 is probably the year, because it takes a while to get your own guys in, and then when they get into year 3, now they're entering their junior years. So that's probably the year when most coaches start to turn their programs around. All right, so bottom line, we're playing a game tomorrow night, Ray. Which guy has the edge at quarterback? You've got a redshirt freshman that's got all the intangibles and great skill, but you got a guy who's been around a little bit longer. Who has the edge at quarterback, Riley or Luck, tomorrow night? Oh,
Stanford's got the edge, and it's a fairly considerable one, because they have the better running back, and they have the better offensive line, and Andrew Luck is a better quarterback. So I think anybody who sees Riley as having an edge here is crazy. I mean, I like Kevin Riley. He's not a bad quarterback at all, but Andrew Luck is a special deal, and he's got better guys around him, so Stanford's edge there is considerable.
And Stanford's playing at home in addition to that, and Stanford's undefeated at home this year, so goes to show, I think Stanford's definitely going to have a leg up in terms of quarterback as well as the overall team.
Cool. Let's start out with the Stanford offense versus the Cal defense. Cal defensively, Rad, they lost a lot of good linebackers. They've been up and down. They played better against Arizona last week. Can they hold Stanford in the 30s tomorrow night on defense?
I think they could hold them in the 30s, but I still think that looks like a 4-touchdown minimum, because Toby Gerhart has faced tougher defenses and shredded them, and Andrew Luck has enough weapons, and he's able to stand up upright to spot those weapons. So I think it's going to be hard for Cal, especially when you look at the fact that Stanford likes to keep teams on defenses on the field a long time. They have the ball 35, 36 minutes routinely. So I think that Cal will wear down. They'll look better early, but I think as time goes on, they'll wear down.
Yeah. What do you think? Give me a score tomorrow, Raymond.
35-17 Stanford. I don't think they won't cover the over, but they'll cover the line.
Cal's going to score. I think they're both going to be in the 30s tomorrow night.
I think Stanford 35, Cal 21.
All right.
No, 17.
21.
Thank you, Raymond. Mike, good seeing you again.
Good seeing you too.
Thanks to Stanford University.
Meanwhile, back in the Bay, he's the leader of the pack. Cal linebacker Mike Mohamed was named Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week. The junior run stopper had a team-high 10 tackles, 6 solo, and picked off a pass in the Gold Bears' 34-28 big game win on the farm. Sorry, Scott. It's the second Player of the Week honor for the centerpiece of Cal's defense, and I'm sorry again.
Still hurt.
3 touchdowns in the red zone for Stanford tonight. Luck looks, throws, intercepted at the 3-yard line by Mike Mohamed.
Rough one for Andrew Luck. Mike Mohamed was voted the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week on that game-sealing interception there. Andrew Luck, coming into the game on Saturday, had thrown 3 interceptions. He threw 4 alone. But was it really his fault on Saturday night? Welcome back to Chronicle Live, presented by AutoTrader.com. Greg Papa rejoined by Ann Killian from CSNBayArea.com, and Ray Ratto from the San Francisco Chronicle, who co-hosted Chronicle Live with me at Stanford Stadium on Friday, and we were of the opinion that Stanford would probably win the game. But
you were closer than I was.
I thought I actually thought Cal would play pretty well, but I thought Stanford was so hot going into the game. But did Coach Harbaugh just give it to Andrew Luck too much on Saturday and not enough of Toby Gerhart?
I think the mistake he made was they went up 14, and he tried to pound the ball with Gerhart between the tackles. And Bob Gregory, the Cal defensive coordinator, to his credit, basically said, okay, you're going to have to beat us with Andrew Luck, because we're going to swarm Gerhart. And what I thought Harbaugh's mistake was in not swinging Gerhart outside to spread the field, throw some screen passes to him, throw some little dinks and dunks to get him out from between the tackles and open it up so that they could reestablish the run later. I think he went to the long pass too early, and I think he went away from Gerhart in an uncreative way, because he could have gotten him the ball outside the tackles, and they would have had some ball control. They had the ball for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Cal had the ball, Ann, for 39 minutes and 6 seconds, the most ever in Jeff Tedford's career at Cal. And that's the amazing thing. I mean, you could put it on what Stanford did offensively, but this is still on Ron Lynn's defense. And I'm not picking on Ron. He's a friend of ours. He does not have the personnel on defense. But to allow Cal to run the way they did, without Javid Best, Shane Vereen's a terrific player, but they gave it to him 42 times on Saturday night. I mean, that was one of the best performances we've seen in big game history.
Well, as John McKay used to say, why not? It's not heavy. Why not carry it that many times? Yeah, I mean, Vereen was fabulous, and I was one of the many people who thought Cal was at a disadvantage and would probably lose this game. But I do think that Ray is right in that, you know, you have a guy like Gerhard who can help you control the clock. And what was it? They went to him 3 times in the final 4 possessions. I mean, that seems crazy to me. Like Jim Harbaugh was auditioning for an NFL job, or he wanted Andrew Luck to be the #1 pick in the draft. I don't know. It just seemed like it was not who they have been in the last couple of weeks.
On 4 possessions in the 4th quarter, he carried it just 3 times. And even Coach Harbaugh said after they got down to the 15-yard line, right before he threw the pick to Mohamed, they still could have run the ball, Ray. It seems like all they had to do was score a touchdown, and Toby was breaking runs. They had 4 touchdowns in the game.
But it wasn't so much that they didn't run the ball. It's that they didn't engage Gerhard in ways outside the tackles.
Right.
And because he can catch the ball. I mean, he's established that all year. He doesn't have bad hands. He's not a fullback. I mean, you had to find different ways to get him the football. And it didn't have to be between the tackles, because between the tackles he really struggled, because the Stanford offensive line had a real hard time with Cal's front 7. What they didn't do, and I think Harbaugh will admit this if you get enough drinks in him, is that he didn't kick Gerhard outside and make him the dominant player in a different way than he had been against SC or Oregon or previously during the year. I think that's where the mistake was. And going away from that, and the combination that Andrew Luck had a very poor game for him, you know, doomed them. But I think a lot of that would have been avoidable if he'd found different ways to engage Gerhard.
And I thought it was just galling what Coach Tedford did at the end, take that knee on 3rd down and kick the field goal. I mean, they had a chance to go up by 2 scores there. He was content with a 6-point lead. It looked like Luck has had a rough game, but he's going to come back and find a way to beat you.